So yeah, those are the changes. And we're going to dive into the beta testing of Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. Previously on Warhammer 40k. In the grim dark space, and so on and so forth. I think I actually... Give me a sec. Wasn't it here? Yeah. As a preview, if you're going for the accessibility options, right? They have the preview message here. In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. I like that. It's the Warhammer 40k slogan, basically, right? And they put that in here so you can test your text size and text color settings. Which is great, by the way. But yeah, new game. What's this little button here? I don't know. Oh, this looks awesome. I've never seen a Space Marine with that kind of hair. Well, they usually have a helmet on, right? Take up the mantle of a rogue trader, a scion of an ancient dynasty. Dynasty of daring privateers that reign over their trade protectorate and explore the fringes of the known galaxy. Okay. Darkness looms over the bloodline of von Valancius. Oh. Very, very V. As it faces multiple dangers, from a traitor amongst its ranks to the numerous enemies seeking to destroy the most daring and brave agents of humanity. It is up to you to hold the reins of shattered protectorate and forge a new path for the rogue trader dynasty that finds itself in the vortex of wars, intrigues, calamities, and heresy. It's up to us, as always. Alright, this is to scroll the text. Alright. The stakes rise as you cross the paths of the most powerful adversaries and rivals that chase their own goals, and the darkness of Coronus expands. Lots of words. Okay. Difficulty. Normal. Ooh, core. It's for hard professionals, right? If you're familiar with the system of the game, well then, you know, you can go all in. But I'm gonna go for normal, which is not easy, but we get enemies that dodge a bit less, and so on. Lots of things here. Ah, cool. So on the second playthrough, you can already change a few of these to your liking. Very nice. Very valid von Valancius vice for war. Oh, awesome. Yeah. Continue. Ooh, we can create a custom character. Yes. From scratch. Ooh, okay. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I want to see that. The pre-made ones are Hecata, Darius, and Bahardor. He's got the best hat. It's a cool preview. You mouse over the picture here, right? Yeah, a big one. Ah, that's pretty cool. Damn. A chainsword. And a very grim look on their face. But I'm going to create a new character, so... You can pick a portrait. Oh god. It says work in progress here, right? Some of these apparently are not yet finalized. This is a finalized one. Ooh. Yeah, there's that one. Interesting. Yeah. Ooh, I like this. Oh, she's the, you know, winner for the best hat. Shifty characters. So then you have your appearance, where you can switch your body into. That's pretty simple here. Okay, that's alright. That smile. Oh god, no. That looks very thin, doesn't it? Like a bit squash. And we have here lots of options. Golem. Undead. I feel like Mohawk? Nah, just regular dude. Oh, here, cyber stuffs. Cyber stuffs on the chin as well. I don't mess about with that. Oh, you can add more implants. Can you see them? Is that? Can you zoom in on this? No. Alright, okay. With clothes. No, we don't, we're naked. But you can change the color scheme of your clothing here. White undies. And the voices. But we're seeing, okay, this is stuck now. The visual. Oh yeah, okay.
I'll bring glory to my bloodline.
Yes. We want that. Portrix, welcome. Yeah, it's been a while since I had a chance to stream. I was a bit sick the other week, and you know, work. Origin, the home world, Forge world, locomotion system. I gain agility. Yeah, that's good. I'm a fast fella. Fellowship is a measure of a character's persuasiveness, ability to lead, and force of personality. I'm not a paladin, but I'm. What's this? Military tradition. All right, this whole world is missing some content. Okay, fair enough. It's the beta testing after all. Analytics. Ooh, okay. From a death world. No, I'm gonna go for this one. Forge world looks fine. Our origin, as in career, vagabond. There's some content missing, but we get weapon skill, perception. Yeah, that works. I'm like a you know, like a rogue, thief kind of smuggler type. And vagabond works. They're also very interesting, you know, far away from one another options here, like a Navy officer or a sanctioned psyker. I haven't got Alan Wake 2, so I haven't tried it. have you played it? I'm pretty. I saw some tiny bit of gameplay, and I'm pretty sure it looks amazing. And I think it focuses more on the story than the first game. Right? Oh, I did. Nemo upgraded. I spent all my money on the graphics card. It was way too much. But yeah, it was Starfield didn't really work on my system, right? And that's the advantage of having a full-time job. You also get full-time pay. It's helpful. Yeah, it's you know, it's future-proof. I don't really use all of it at the moment, but that was the same for the 1080, and that was good for at least 5 years. Game of the Year material. Oh, nice. That's good to know. The first Alan Wake game and the American Nightmare, which I haven't finished yet, but they were very promising as for continued storytelling, right? And that's what Remedy does. I'm very much also looking forward to the continuation of Control. The Control universe is being expanded. There's like a spin-off. There's Control 2 that they talked about, and then another project that they haven't really revealed what it actually is, but it's a big budget kind of gothic thing. Yeah, I've got an RX 580 that's actually my backup card in case something blows up. It's lying back there. Yeah. The Commissar, does that give an option to execute companions if they hesitate to obey? Oh, probably. Coercion. You were not wrong, Portrix. Manipulate through intimidation. That is basically scaring people to death with. Yeah. So, but yeah, I wanted the vagabond option, right? So, Triumph is a work in progress. It's not in the beta yet. Same for Darkest Hour, but you have more options here. And the Doctrine. Ooh, it could be an assassin. Master of finding and executing high priority targets. No, I'm more of a smuggler kind of person. No. Like a hunter? Intelligence, perception to exploit a weakness. Study enemies. That's, you know, the marksman, adept, hunter. That's kind of hunt down the prey. That doesn't really work. So it's either going to be fighter, adept, or marksman. I think this kind of fits with what I have in mind. Study prey. There you go. Yeah, I'm gonna pick the adept doctrine. And then we've got our stats. We've got weapon skill, ballistics, so many abbreviations also. Intelligence, perception. What's FEL? Fellowship. All right, yeah, that's not a very common thing. Badger, welcome. Emre, welcome in. Oh no, this is a beta. Should I put that in the title? People seem to be confused. It's not out yet. Discovery stream. It's like beta. No, not B. Beta. Beta test. Exclamation mark. Yeah, it's not going to be long until it's out officially, fully, but it's still now the beta testing time. December 7 is the official release date. That's not even 6 weeks. And Mikaeus did ask earlier if this is different from the demo that was out previously. I'm not sure. This is basically a review beta test copy that I got, right? But yeah, December 7 is when this will be released, and we are looking at some work in progress parts. So this is not going to be the state of the final release, right? Yeah, absolutely. There are so many games coming out. It's nuts. So I've got 30 points to spend here. I'm going to spend some more on perceptions. Oh, right, you spend in bunches of 5. Yeah, okay. I'm not unable to lead, but my willpower is higher than that. And then I want to have ballistics and a bit more agility. Oh, no points left. Okay, fair enough. That looks very averaged out, right? Okay. So then you've got athletics, which is based on strength. Arouse. Resist the negative effects and substances. Okay. I like this presentation here, but it was the same with Pathfinder. The Pathfinder games had a very pretty user interface. I'm not sure if it was very functional all the time, but it was very pretty to look at. It's the same here. That looks a bit blurry, but that's all right. I don't care. The Von Valancia's flagship. It's a short 1.6 kilometer long 6 megaton flagship. Every system aboard this frigate has been tried and tested in innumerable engagements. Sounds promising. We can name it randomly. The Invictum Erebus. The Unforgiven. That's kind of a cool name. That's, yeah, okay, I'm going to take that. In summary, this is what we have. Not very strong. That's alright. Everyone can get a random name. Marn. Marn von... what's his name? Valencius. Revving speed, yes! This one's gonna be day 1 purchase for you, T-Bank. Oh, don't base it on how good it looks on my stream, but do take the stream to get some more information on it, maybe. These skills here and the stats are recruited from. I'm going to jump back here. Your choices here, Emre. So you do have influence on. Well, you could call it a class, but it's a mixed stats background that you create. You don't really pick one class and then that's it. You take multiple layers and that forms your character. But you can, if you go straight for one focus point, you can sort of create a class if you like. Yeah. Like your origin has a big influence. You see the attributes and skills that are modified by picking this or that. Right? The funny little man will be patched out. I'm sorry to inform you, Badger. They felt like it was not a good investment. Erebus. Oh, I don't know. Could be. E-Bank could be. So it's not a fixed class system, but it's a multi-layer origin choice system. I mean, in the end, it's not so different from picking a class, but I feel like it's cool that you can go many different roads. Plus, we don't really have Triumph and Darkest Hour yet. But as I read it, you have memories of the good and memories of the bad, and that somehow influences how your character comes out in the end, right? So you have like your greatest triumph was smuggling that whiskey for that guy, and then he owes you a favor, right? And the darkest hour was when you had to betray your best friend because you really needed the money and you didn't want to die, and so now they are dead and you are carrying that burden, something like that. And then there's the doctrine, which looks the most like it's a class choice, which gives you abilities. Study enemies, ultimate abilities, and skills that are skills and characteristics linked to this, right? And then you end up with your character sheet. Edmund Jabez. Wolf Soul, welcome in. Welcome in. Yeah, there's the annual sub. We've been talking about the annual sub earlier. How's it going? 1 more month. Indeed. Indeed. Erebus was the guy in the Horus Heresy books. I think so. Aubrey. Seth. Yeah, we're a Seth person. Complete. So that was an extended look at the character creation. Quadrillions, not 5 or 8 million or some reasonable number. No, it's quadrillions. Amazing. Alright, there's no voiceover yet. I'm not sure if it's actually planned. And I'm going to move the camera away a bit so that you can clearly see this is the beta test. In the bottom of the screen, right? Down there. Beta test. But I don't think they plan voice acting. I'm not sure. If anyone in chat knows better, please correct me. On that topic. Konrad Voigtvir. An excellent place for contemplation. The man who has approached you is gazing down into the depths of the vast temple on one of the lower decks. One has the best view of the cathedral from here. Mesmerizing, wouldn't you say? An impeccable manifestation of the God Emperor's sublimity. And you can mouse over highlighted words to get a, if you are not very knowledgeable about all the lore. And Warhammer 40k has more lore than anything else. The God Emperor of mankind is also the ruler of the Imperium and savior of all mankind. And then you can click on Encyclopedia and get extra text. So you can really dive into the lore, into the game without any knowledge whatsoever. You can get what you need which is detailed enough, but it's not too much. It's not a book for every topic. You can just dive in and learn the world, which is pretty cool. I like that. So, in dialogue, you can learn more about the current events of the game, change the attitude of the interlocutor. Sure. It doesn't say here. Or decide the fate of entire planets. Okay. What will happen in this world depends on the lines you choose. To select a reply, click on the... Okay. It's a dialogue. We know how that works. But we have got 5 options. Right? We've got 5 options. Then there's this button. Okay, I'm not sure what that does. But we see Conrad here on the left. Well, you see him under the chat and besides my face, but yeah. Now, he commented on the site and the manifestation of the Emperor's sublimity. Have we met? Highlighted words in the dialogue provide detailed information. Yeah, we learned that already. Allow me to introduce myself. Conrad Voigtvier, Master of Whispers and the employee of Her Ladyship Rogue Trader Theodora von Valancius. Von, right? If you're English speaking, you probably say von. But I would actually say fon with a f sound. Anyway, at your service. I haven't had the pleasure of speaking with you in person before. He bows his head and focuses his attention on you. Alright. AI voices can fix that. Oh yeah, that's true. But not everybody wants that, probably. The demo had partial voiceovers. Alright, okay, cool. It's nice to see some Warhammer 40k games come out. It seems there's a lot. There's a lot of lore. Wiggles, you thought Wolfsall got another 12 months up. I don't think so. Not yet. But yeah, they could probably choose AI voice. I don't know. So they have introduced themselves, right? My name's Seth. My regards, Seth. He looks you up and down with a thin smile. Or should I say Seth von Valancius, scion of a blessed rogue trader house in the service of the Imperium. Perhaps this kinship came as a shock to you. Understandably so, given that all evidence of the connection was lost in the generation separating you and Lord Captain Theodora. It required no small effort on the part of Her Ladyship's servants to discover and verify this blood tie, which has now made you one of the heirs of this dynasty. You have a curious title. Master of Whispers. What are your responsibilities? To put it plainly, I am the head of the network of spies and informers who serve the interests of House von Valancius. I uncover weak links both among Lady Theodora's retinue and in the ranks of her rivals. I eliminate our vulnerabilities and exploit those of others. Master Spy. Right. You say I'm one of the Rogue Trader's heirs. And there is another candidate. He shrugs slightly. There are, and you will meet them soon enough. So it's a lot of them. Probably the lot of them down there. Tell me about the one whose ship I found myself on. What? Tell me about the one on whose ship I found myself. Okay, that makes more sense. I would rather not discuss the Lord Captain behind her back, especially not on board her ship. No one knows better than I that whispers are born to attract particularly close attention. He laughs and shakes his head. Suffice it to say that Her Ladyship is the bearer of the sacred warrant of trade. The what? A sacred imperial relic document that affirms the preeminent rights of a rogue trader throughout the galaxy. The warrant grants not only permission to travel beyond the Imperium's borders, but license to deal with pirates, mutants, or Xenos if needed. Rogue traders use the warrant of trade to conquer or colonize newly discovered planets, to gain exclusive trade rights with newly discovered cultures, and to explore the galaxy beyond the Imperium's frontiers. Which is a very important thing to know. Rogue traders, right? Big thing. Hence the name of the game. And a woman of immense power and entitlement. However privileged your position may be, I ask that you do not incur her anger by being disrespectful or obtuse. Lady Theodora despises both qualities. Okay, I feel warned. I assume you had some goal in mind when you decided to seek me out. Let's address it. But of course, I have come to invite you to a meeting with Lady Theodora. I imagine you have many questions for your patroness, and I'm sure she has just as many questions for you. It is regrettable that you haven't yet had an opportunity to speak. It has been an arduous voyage thus far. Indeed. Yeah. The AI voices. I will urge you to not start a war about AI good bad. That it is an interesting topic though. The Lord Captain and Master Edelfrad von Valencius. The names are hilarious. I mean, you know, everybody has an idea or opinion, or maybe also no opinion really, on the topic of AI, and it's on everybody's mind apparently. But it's a bit like politics. Some people love it, some people hate it. A lot of people just fight over it for no reason. Yeah, just wanted to put that out there before the fire started. Actually, right, so the Lord Captain and Master Edelfrad von Valencius are conversing on the observation platform located in one of the wings of the officer's deck. Let's join them there. I shall accompany you. By the right of blood. Start moving. If the line, okay. I didn't even have time to click on it. So now we are in the actual user interface, where we are left clicking to move the character. We can zoom in and out. This is the furthest we can zoom in currently. And then we've got an inventory button. With the stub revolver, action point cost, damage, weapon type, lots of equipment slots, sorting options. Oh, nice. There will be a lot of inventory management. We can switch here between weapons and skills. That's nice. We've got 2 weapon slots that we can quickly access here. And later on, if we've got more people in the party, we can switch between them. These are health points. It's called wounds. That's a measurement of how much punishment a character can take before suffering debilitating effects and ultimately death. Right, there's our character sheet, which has a summary with a triangle. Interesting. We have 7 move points, 4 action points, and then there is Benevolentia, Hereticus, and Imperialis. And that's connected to everything. Conviction towards the holiness and infallibility of the laws of the Imperium. Or, if you're a heretic, you really like the warp. And if you really like people, as in they are alive, that you go towards this. And then you sort of create your... how do you say that? In Dungeons and Dragons, you would have the... What's that called? I'm missing the English word at the moment. Like chaotic good, or, you know, and so on and so forth. Round Guard is a Peggle game. Oh no! No Peggle games. Ah. I read this as AFK, but AKF. Why is it called AKF? I don't get that. Forge mode I do get. I don't get this. It's a work in progress anyway. Oh no! Alignment is the word. Thank you so much. So your alignment depends on lots of things basically in the game, and then you get a summary here. Thank you so much. Alignment is the word. I just couldn't pull that one out. The Adept Doctrine is in progress. Okay, that looks kind of cool. You start with whatever you pick as a doctrine, and then you have different choices here. Available skills. And then you can upgrade your doctrine and probably get points to spend in this wheel sort of thing. Reputation with different factions. Imperial Navy, the Fellowship of the Void, the Casbalica Mission, Explorators, Drusians. Also your biography, which looks a lot like the summary, but that's alright. Okay, that's the character sheet. And then we've got a journal with quests, rumors, and orders. Nice. I like the rumors bit. You can review your current events, and also this looks a bit like it's your navigation point. You're supposed to go to the officer's deck. The map, which you can move your view around on. You probably also turn it around. No. Zoom in, zoom out, and there's the legend. Okay, fair enough. I thought this was focusing on the character, but it doesn't do that. And then, oh yeah, that's the encyclopedia. Void ship management. Oh, hello. The Unforgiven level 0. No, level 1. Rotate the camera. Alright, you can rotate the ship so you can look at different parts of it. Dorsal weapons. Mesoa macro cannons. Nice. And then down here you've got your shield stats. Repair if it need be. And then engine values. And I want to look at options. Display accessibility. Text size. Let's put the text size to 1.1. And look at the ship again. Yeah, it's a bit bigger, but it was kind of tiny. And I'm on a 1440p screen, so that was kind of hard to read. So, hooray for text size options. That's the ship's inventory with sorting options and a search bar. That's great. We can search later, and it seems like it's a huge one. Yeah, cool. The ship has its own skill system. That's pretty good. And different posts, which you can later on manage. Later on, not at the moment. Cool. So we can turn the camera with the middle mouse button being held down, or we can use Q and E to flip the camera around. And last but not least, the ship's cargo. No, maximum text size is higher. I think it goes to 1.2, which looks like this then. Doesn't look much bigger. But user interface scaling might be also there are so many options. Maybe on the graphics. No. Oh, that was the maximum now. It's probably kind of hard to judge, right? Because I'm streaming in 1080p, which is scaled down from 1440p, and then you only see the 736p whatever browser window by default. But it's good that you can increase it. It would be nice if you could scale the user interface a bit, but lots of games seem to have issues with that. Now, let's have a look around.
New challenge for me.
Oh, somebody talked. Objects can be interacted with. You click on them. A massive conference table, obviously crafted from real wood. A resource of incredible value aboard a void ship. And there's a text log here that you can click on and filter by events, dialogue, combat. Or show everything. And you can also increase its size. This is a very good thing to have. Especially for non-native speakers, because I often find myself in need of looking up, right? Yeah. The Fanatical has it as part of your build your own bundle. What was it called again? The Peggle-like game? Something. I forgot. Anyway, let's continue here. Wouldn't it show on mouse over what I'm looking at? Anyway. Incomprehensible information is displayed on a large screen above the cogitators. You cannot read that fast. You can make out mentions of unfamiliar systems and worlds among the numbers and logistic car symbols. I'm not super blown away by the graphics. I'm gonna check. Because FSR is off. But it's not downscaled or anything. It's the correct resolution. Depth of field is turned off and motion film grain is off. And everything else seems to be on the highest settings. I mean, most things look quite alright, but some things just look a tad too blurry for my taste. Anyway. A noble guest is doing the praying. Master of Whispers, it's an emergency! The esteemed Lord Captain's pet has broken. What? No? Oh. Suddenly it's lagging like nothing else. Round Guard, that was the name. Thank you. By the right of blood. A wild xenobeast. Man, I can't read that fast. That's a bit... So 2 deck enforcers I did. It's a space line. Oh, I'm pretty sure we'll find out. It's the Lord Captain's pet. It's a Genusian Laserax. Start the battle. Now on the left. Oh, that's a bit loud. On the left we've got the turn order. I think the combat was continuing in the background. Right, now it's my turn, and then we've got the bridge guard. It's highlighted, the one you're pointing at. It's highlighted. So it's me, and then there's the 3 guards in front. That one's already dead. And they got only 18 health left, but they are like they're Roman numbers here. I think that's maybe the level. That's the turn counter. A Lyozard. Somehow the... Can't really judge what the loud noise is in this here. Anyway. Let's see, what can I do? I've got study enemies. Within 10 cells range, I randomly distribute intelligence bonus stacks of clue marks. Clues remain until the end of combat. It can add insight. See, and this is now where the text is very big. This is where the text size comes in. The user interface for the ship was not really increasing a lot, but here you can see that it's quite large. So I would on my screen now I would go back to 1.1 on the text size. I'm not sure if that's much smaller, but anyway. Yeah, it is. It seems to be a challenging thing to scale the UI randomly or on purpose. Okay, so I've got 7 movement points, which you can see on the left side of the character's portrait, and 4 action points, which are on the right side. The target of this ability gains 10 BS for 1 round. The thickness of the veil and the momentum, a special combat resource required for using the unique abilities called Heroic Act and Desperate Measure. These abilities can only be used once per round for the entire party and once per battle for each character. Aha! 50 for a Desperate Measure, 175 for a Desperate for a Heroic Act. So I would probably walk. What's this? Alright, that's the 1 action point shot. I'm gonna walk here as to not block their line of sight. Clicking 2 times confirms the move. Use the
Not a problem for
study
me.
prey. Okay, if you still have action points after shooting, you can use other abilities. Right. Now we're gonna... What's this? Reload. Alright, okay. So now we're gonna shoot. There's a 75% chance for 11 to 15 damage. But... Ah, okay. If you right click on the enemy, you see their stats in detail. And these are the clues that I put on them. If the adept hits a target that has a clue, it deals an additional perception bonus plus insight damage. Like, you know, bonus damage is calculated as such. And removes 1 stack of the clue and provides +1 insight until end of combat. That's a pretty cool skill. Right, now I'm out of things I can do. Why does it show -2 movement points? I don't really know. I'm gonna end my turn.
Death to the heretics!
I can scarcely believe it. On a day like this. Well, what suspiciously poor timing for such an accident. A wild beast breaks free on the officer's deck at exactly the same moment when the rogue trader and her heirs are gathered here. Right? Without taking his eyes off the dead beast, Voigtveer removes the Voxcaster from his belt and speaks a few quick orders into the device. And then he turns to you. I've blocked all passages between the upper and lower sectors of the residential decks. If this is a deliberate attack, it should stop the culprits from advancing their plan. Right. Okay. We could check out the journal now, which is... Spread out! No one is allowed to enter the premises. Stations! Right. The lines on Voigtveer's forehead soften and his voice regains its usual courtesy. I'm afraid I must remain here, Seth, for Lady Theodora's safety. I have to oversee the execution of these orders personally. I hope you will have no difficulty reaching the observation platform on your own. It is just at the end of this corridor. The Master of Whispers gives you a curt bow. Bow. Not bow. It could give me a bow, but I wouldn't need it, right? The journal records the things, and then you carry on. Where'd the camera go? There are more pets in here. A huge beast. Ugh. Okay. More dead people. If I see you raise your head again, I'll hand you over to the tech priest for what now? Servitoryism? I consider this guy ranged first, melee only in desperation. He's kind of a plan and exploit character instead of into the thick of it, charge attack kind of guy. Yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool. You can see the ship.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Yes. That's Edelthrad. That is simply irrational, Lady Theodora, says the man dressed in a peculiar garb, his voice tight with tension. His face, half of which is covered by sin skin, is twisted in a grimace of displeasure and disbelief. Assimilation into the trade structure would be political and economic suicide, practically an admission of heresy. Heresy? Oh, that's Theodora here, with the fancy hair. This one. I'm going a bit closer. The tall, grey-haired woman pins him with her gaze, her cybernetic eye flashing crimson. Then suggests an alternative that will satisfy me. I have described the situation no worse than my seneschal could have done. Make a decision. What will you do with Ion 6, Edelthrad? I'm gonna have a look around. Your first impression of Edelthrad, who appears to be about 30 years old, is of parchment-like skin stretched over a tightly bundled mass of sinew, implants, and bone. The nervously twitching fingers, the face twisted by a slight tic, and the jerky movements are all signs of some illness or defect that has taken over his physical form. Alright. That's a very cool description. Purge! In stark contrast to Edelthrad, Theodora von Valencia's features appear as if they were carved from marble, eternal and indestructible. The head raised high, proud posture, hands clasped casually behind her back. Everything seems to emphasize the difference in status between her and Edelthrad. Behind the two of them, you see two more men. One is a grey-haired officer of impeccable bearing who's studying the contents of his data slate. The other is a behemoth bristling with holsters and baldricks containing all manner of weapons. Our second candidate has joined us, says Theodora. The dry female voice and the powerful feeling of being watched force you to look at Theodora. The rogue trader is looking straight at you, and her gaze, like herself, is predatory and oppressive. Seth, approach and give me your answer. I don't even know what is going on. What? Okay, passive skill checks. They reflect the character's current level of knowledge and ability. Sometimes you can get additional information and dialogue if a passive check was successful, like currently, lore, in regards to warp, was successful. They pick the character from the party that has the highest value if applicable. That's fair. So, these are dialogue options. I have to actually scroll through them and read them to make a good decision. So this here is based on the passive skill check. The others are just other choices you have, right? So the skill check one says, there are ways to confirm Whether what is happening on Iron 6 is witchcraft or not, it might cost several psychers to do so, but it will give us the answer. That's a good answer, I think. If my particular life experiences are any indication, some of the natives would eagerly betray their chieftains in exchange for a quiet life serving on board my ship. I would then leave dealing with Iron 6 to those who know it best. Yeah. These reports of spirits certainly sound like evidence of heresy. However, I would put my interest first. No matter what means I would have to use, the riches of Iron 6 would be mine. Ah, that's the ticket. Iron 6 must be purged for the good of the Imperium. I shall exterminate the heretical beliefs. See, Portrix, there's your option. Chris, welcome in. Good to see you. There's the purge against the heretics. I'm gonna pick the warp lore thing. Theodora smirks. Thorough, but presumptuous. It took me a great deal to find one psyker who could serve me well for many years, yet you speak of several. Adelthrat looks at you with the warmth of a snake. Sanctioned psychers are rare and valuable instruments of the Golden Throne. Or do you, Seth, suggest that we use heretics who are an offense to the God Emperor's light? It would be rather careless of you to utter such profanity in the presence of his faithful servants. Hey, Natal, welcome in. Good evening. Oh, I need to have a bit of a drink because there's so much text here. Welcome. Bit of a drink of water, actually, not vodka. Just so you know. Natal, how's it going? Chris, good to see you guys. It's been a while, right? It's been a while since I streamed last. Now, Adelthrat is I gave a straight answer to a simple question, which, as I understand, was still more than you could do, Adelthrat. The color... Oh, lovely. The color drains from Adelthrat's face, which distorts his features further. Insolent, ignorant, upstart! How dare you! Adelthrat. Theodora's tone renders him silent. I believe I gave you an assignment on this ship. Explain to me, then, why my senior congregator is still dawdling about the officer's deck instead of proceeding to the middle decks to commence the inspection of the compartments in his purview. Right? Vodka heretic. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Had a bit of a recovery weekend after I don't know, I caught a cold or something. I was basically sleeping a lot for 3 days. It was super annoying, but I'm good now. I beg your forgiveness, Lady Theodora. Your presence has such a profound effect on me that I really am a brown-nosing arsehole. That I will forget the time. Adelthrat bows ceremoniously and takes his leave without sparing you another look. Yeah, my comment hit the mark. That's good. It's going well. We can check out the beta tests for Rogue Trader here, by the same developers that did make the Pathfinder games, Kingmaker and Wrath of the Righteous. And I am enjoying the writing so far of the dialogues. It's really good. It's very easy to follow this writing and imagine the characters in their current situation. Even so, we are just barely an hour in, which was mostly me faffing about. So we are very, very, very early in the game still, right? Theodora's gaze follows him as he leaves. Then she turns to you. So, Seth, why are you here? Well, if I knew. Well, I do not know just yet. I hope you will clarify that. She smiles wryly. Clarity. A luxury that few of us can afford. There is a reason why I did not explain all the details of the question I posed to you earlier. Beyond the borders of the Imperium, Seldom is one granted an opportunity to enjoy information in abundance. This, however, is one such opportunity. My name is Theodora von Valencius Massimo Afscaros. I am a rogue trader in the service of the God Emperor and have a friggin' long name. And my rights and freedoms are vindicated by a most sacred relic. The warrant of trade kept aboard this very vessel. Mine is the honor to venture into the darkness beyond the Imperium and carry humanity's light where powers wicked and heretical reign and abode death and ruin to us all. Right? You can really get into the Warhammer zone here. It is my decision alone to determine the fate of whatever I find past the bounds of the explored void. Every world I discover, along with all there is to find thereon, resources, people, riches, and mysteries, and stuff, is mine by right. I command millions of lives, rule over numerous planets, and possess fortunes that no planetary governor or commander could dream of amassing. And you, Seth, are one of those with the von Valencia's blood in their veins and a rightful claim to this inheritance when the hour comes. Did she just say numerous planets? Okay. Yeah, recovered. It was nothing bad. Just you know, just a regular cold or whatever. But my voice has recovered enough to read all this text, which is good. There's a lot of it. One-off. Does that mean there are other heirs? Naturally. Some have yet to arrive on board, but you have had the pleasure of meeting one of them. Edelthrad may be somewhat disconcerted by the scale of the responsibilities that may potentially fall upon his shoulders. However, I have a good feeling about him as a candidate. I wonder why. Seems like an idiot. Blood right alone is not enough to earn the high honor of becoming the bearer of a warrant of trade. Nonetheless, your abilities and talents may yet prove useful. If not for the role of Lord Captain, then for that of their closest ally. Theodora sighs and looks away pensively for a brief moment. Alas, even those responsibilities can at times be too challenging for those who share your blood. Conrad Voigtveer served me for many years before he made his mistake. Well, mistake? Thank you for clarifying. May I ask questions? The vox affixed to Theodora's attire suddenly comes to life, but all you can hear is unintelligible noise. Theodora winces, shuts off the transmission, and gives you an imperious nod. I have some time before the navigator gives the signal to initiate the void ship's translation out of the warp, and my presence is required on the bridge. Navigation? What are these things that you speak of? What are my current responsibilities? Observe, learn, absorb. It will take time for you to find your bearings aboard this vessel and in your new position. Eventually, I'll find a post that suits you, as I did for Edelthrad. Until that time comes, consider yourself my aide. Right, I'm going to aid you by informing you that, yeah, she probably already knows. Where are you headed? The Recard system, the domain of rogue trader Winterscale, one of my peers and rivals. Only 3 rogue traders exist in the Coronus Expanse, and each of them possesses resources comparable to mine. Perhaps you will one day assist House von Valancius in surpassing both of them in affluence and splendor. I set the course for Ricard on the demand. Theodora grimaces. She gives you a stern look and then shrugs. For a very specific reason. Perhaps I shall yet apprise you of the purpose for this voyage, but now is not the time. Okay, I have no more questions. In that case, I shall head to... Theodora's vox awakens once more. This time you pick up shouting. The Lord Captain freezes, listening to the vox cast, then nods and draws a weapon. Disturbance is reported on the adjacent decks. Seneschal, if the need arises, protected the new blood. She glances at you. It is possible that the chance to prove your worth may present itself sooner than you may have anticipated. Combat! Are we being... Oh? Blood! There's a rebellion. You have been ambushed, yes. So I see. The camera just jumped to odd places on the map here. Okay, so when you don't have line of sight, no, when your view is obstructed by an object, you see outlines, as in your characters, neutral or allied, non-hostile characters, and the ones in red here are enemies. I want to see if I can turn the camera up and down. I don't think so. There's camera rotation. Moving camera up and down. But that's panning. It's not pitching. Okay, fair enough. So let's try to get an overview here. If I press on M... Alright, okay, so those are all the enemies. It's like more than 3 in this room. And we can now start the battle. Theodora is taking cover. Abelard is charging in.
Reduced to dust. One fewer target.
Okay. Game's a bit choppy in certain situations. I'm going to start monitoring the frames. Yeah, we're not getting constant 60 frames, which is a bit odd. But optimization and beta tests, right? Use cover to avoid. Yes. Is cover shown when you move next to it? No. That's weird. I would have expected the cover to show when I moved there, like a preview, right? So he and his chainsword. I can't right click on Abelard to see their stats. Oh, that's a bit of a pity. But maybe because they are not in my party. How do I get up there? I could try to run back around and, you know, get to their flanks up here. But I can only move 7. Which is, you know, the maximum distance I can cover is somewhere about here. But yeah, after you take an action, you can't move anymore, so I'm gonna have to move first. I'm gonna move over there. Alright, and before you move, you see which of the enemies has line of sight on you. 4 of them. And if I would move here, it's only 3 of them. And I guess I would be in cover, right? I'm gonna collect information on those 2. Spot weakness, basically. It's called study enemies. And now we put clues on them, which we can use up. They are like debuffs. We can use them up to increase our damage. There's a 50% chance to deal 11 to 15 damage. They've got no armor. But it looks a bit like next to their health bar, right? There's like a shield because they are in cover. And then there's this arrow with a dot that I can't really understand. It's the dodge chance. 40% damage reduction, maybe. Right? I've got a 95% chance to hit. Yeah, that was a bit of a gamble. And that's it for my turn. Nice, good that they missed. Okay, now I'm gonna try to lower the sound effects. I'm still not sure which ones I'm supposed to lower. Yeah, stop shouting. Oh, Abelard is killing everybody. That's very impressive.
For the glory of the Imperium!
That was the last gun. The melter gun. Right, it's my turn again. Now I can try to shoot them again. I don't really have the opportunity to get in a much better position. Just keep them under...
You didn't stand a chance!
Under pressure with a bullet to the face. In a world full of deadly dangers, the help of allies can save your life. Your character has received a temporary positive effect from a companion. Hover over the small icon text next to the character's portrait. Insight. Oh, I gave myself the buff. I was the allied character. Okay, anyway. I could now reload. Boss, 3 action points. Can I convert action points into movement? Not yet, huh? Maybe later. I'm gonna end the turn.
I took care of this one.
They exploded.
Reduced to dust.
It's good that I'm not fighting against them. But I wonder why the game's struggling with the frame rate. Must be one of the options that's set too high. Theodora waves her hand in a commanding gesture. Mort, take a team with you and clear a path to the transport line. Do not let a single whoreson survive. The rogue trader turns her eyes to you. Didn't bat an eye when that scum burst onto the deck, huh? Not bad. I've seen many an officer who panicked at the sight of combat on the upper decks. The false sense of security makes them that much more susceptible to the harsh realities of warp transitions. She looks at the Vox in her hand. All you can hear is lifeless static. The incident with the beast on the officer's deck may be connected to what is transpiring now. Possibly. Quite likely. Theodora winces and flicks the switch on her Vox a few times. We will investigate at a later time. Right now we need to isolate the affected compartments and try to assess the situation. Okay, what are your orders? She breaks eye contact with you. Mort has gone on ahead to clear a path for us. If you want to make yourself useful, go after him and see if the Arc Militant requires aid. And be quick about it. Alright. So, if we can go back to the journal, see what happened so far. We haven't picked up any rumors. And no other orders than just follow the dude. Are we supposed to go this way? I didn't see where Mort went. Well, what does it say in the journal? We did get the officer's deck. Near the way to the elevator, okay. Up here then. Is this... Alright, there's fighting going on down there. Okay. Was that a suicide bomb? I'm gonna try to... Oh, I can't go there. The bridge has to be lowered.
Claim to the stars.
Can I lower it with the controls here? No, not really. Okay. Oh, maybe I can go right that way. Okay, I'm not allowed to go down there.
Follow my lead.
I can only go this way. There's a breakthrough attempt. Yeah, I saw. Okay, I tried to lower the sound effects like 5 times now. It's not working. So I guess I'm gonna go here and lower this instead. It's weird. I wonder if I go to the graphics settings and try to figure out which setting is dropping the frame so hard. The master volume. Okay, but I can't join the fight. Okay. All right. It's Conrad. I thought it was Abelard. Sorry, itchy nose. Conrad lets out a sigh of relief upon seeing you. Thank Providence you're alive and well. Always on time, eh, Conrad? The moment we finish chasing the riffraff around the deck, you show up. Always just after the fighting is done. You could set your chrono by it. Conrad pointedly looks away from the arch militant to you. Mort, pull yourself together. The arch militant looks back at you. What? Did the Lord Captain send you to chivvy us along? We're all done here. I'll report right away. Mort pulls his Vox from the belt and hurriedly reports on the situation. Master of Whispers, what is happening on my ship? The Vox net is silent. The Vox Master is not responding. Armed assailants have stormed the officer's deck and my arch militant has just destroyed several more heretics on the way here. Is this a severe case of warp madness? Have some of my crew lost their minds and forgotten who they are and whom they serve? Reports. I have not... Okay. So you really need to like to read for this game to work for you, right? We have figured that much out. I have not yet received word from the The Enigmarium? The Engineerium. It's an enigmatic engineering. Regarding any Jellifield failures. But communications were already unstable half an hour ago, and now they have ceased altogether. Whatever the cause may be, the consequences are spreading fast. I'm receiving scattered reports from the middle decks, and the only vox casts from the lower bays are one-way heretical gibberish. Workbeard pauses. That the madmen have already reached the officer's deck suggests that this outrage was planned in advance. Perhaps this is an organized mutiny. Yeah, Pathfinder has a lot of text as well. That's true. So you have to see that this is a classic role-playing game in lots of senses, right? The Engineerium. I think it's enigmatic as well, but yeah. That's it. Okay, now we've got another 4 options here. Mutiny? But who would attempt a mutiny here in the warp? That's a good question. Lunatics, fools and heretics. This ship houses thousands upon thousands of people. Pernicious thoughts and warp-induced delusions could have tainted any one of them. It is a difficult notion to accept, but such risks are inescapable. Oops. First, we have to confirm that the bridge and the navigator sanctum are secure, and I have the means to do both things at once. Her expression changes as her eyes flash ominously. Theodora looks at Voigtveer. Edelthrat, where is he? I must know if he's unharmed. A psyker aboard a ship that is potentially being assailed by the warp could pose a greater threat to himself and others than a whole army of madmen with improvised weapons. I tried to locate him, but the last thing known about his movements is that he arrived on transitional deck 18. Blasted. Master of Whispers, find Edelthrat immediately. Seneschal, locate Tlas and the Sisters of Battle. Both are to remain at my side. Archmilitant with me. I must go to my study, and it appears that we might encounter heretics along the way. Seth, go get a cookie. It's not what she's going to say, but... If I may, Lord Captain. Voigtveer's voice is soft and cautious. Transitional Deck 18 is at the heart of the disturbance, and if our goal is to bring Edelthrat back, I could use some support. After all, I'm not as adept at directly confronting enemies of the house as the esteemed Archmilitant, and taking into consideration Edelthrat's psyker powers. Okay, they want me as a meat shield. Okay. Then it's settled. Seth, find Edelthrat and return here in any state. This elevator, she points at the massive doors over here, leads to the restricted compartments, such as my personal chambers and the bridge. Do not let me down. I require you both. You understand? I hear and obey, Lord Cap. Nah, that's a bit much. I shall do everything in my power. Theodora hisses in fury. Not everything in your power. You will do as I say. I'll have your heads if you fail. Is that clear? And then move out. Mort, come. Insubordination level 1. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Now Voigtveer gives you a nod. Are you ready to head to 18? It's a long walk and you do not even have proper gear. Well... I shall make do. Lead the way. Of course you will. He rummages in his pocket for something. Lady Theodora would never have someone she couldn't rely on as one of her heirs, but that is no longer relevant. With a pop and a sharp crackle, something hits you in the abdomen and you are consumed by unbearable gut-wrenching pain. Oh no! Plot twist. The bastard. I promised you a special destiny, Seth. It is time to fulfill it. Ah, we're being sacrificed to the powers of the warp, right? That's gonna happen. Nah, that's what's gonna happen. You can use a character's portrait as a target for the ability. Oh yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Oh, performance is a bit off in parts. Ow, they kicked me. Yeah, that quest failed. Careful, careful, be gentle with our guest. He has an important mission to complete during our visit to the Warrant Chamber. And for that I need him breathing. Voigtveer looks down at you. You're back with us, I see. Delightful. What's the meaning of this? You must have hit your head harder than I thought. No matter. Very little is required of you, just your blood, which you can either share of your own volition, or I will spill it for you. We are in the anteroom for the warrant chamber. This void ship's hallowed vault. There, beyond those gates, lies the relic that gives Theodora all of her power. The sacred warrant trade. Only one obstacle remains on my path to obtaining it. The gates of the chamber are guarded by the Sentinel, an ancient device that will only open the door to a true heir of the dynasty. I expected to do this part myself, but never mind. You will offer your blood to the Sentinel. I have no intention of helping you. I'm afraid that you, Seth von Valancius, have no choice in the matter. It produces a strange object, a blade without a handle that shimmers blue in the light. Try to resist and I will demonstrate the power that the warp holds over mortals. Come to think of it, I might even take some pleasure in doing so. To the void with you. Okay, there's a willpower test that I can choose. Your character skills affect the result of their actions. A successful skill check can reveal new information. Yeah. The blade flashes in the dim light and drops of blood appear on your palm. For a brief moment you feel nauseous, your head is spinning and then quiet whispers begin to flood your mind. More and more sourceless voices echo each other, drowning out your own thoughts, replacing them with a singular urge. Go to the gate. Go to the gate. Okay, that's nice. I'll fight. Now, checking. Can I check my. No, what's this? That's party formation. Okay. I'll try to fight. I wanted to check my current attributes, right? But I can't. Succeeded! The voices in your head persist in their demands, and yet you feel this unseen chorus momentarily waver under the strength of your resolve, until the intruding influence forces you to your feet and pushes you forward, the gates looming toward the gates looming in the center of the chamber. So we get 7 XP for trying to resist for a minute. In the gateway arch, you see a cogitator with a human likeness built into the front panel. As you approach, the torso twitches slightly. This is a servitor, an obedient automaton created from a lobotomized human being. The sentinel turns his head to you, one of its eye sockets lighting up with 2 amber-like irises. Let's have a look at it. Tech check failed. You look over the gate cogitator, there's little chance that you will be able to discern anything about its design. Like any other sacred machine in the Imperium, this relic is the specialty of the machine cult of the Adeptus Mechanicus. The servitor on the gate begins to move. With a screeching and groaning of metal, it leans forward, closer to you. Its lower jaw opens with a drawn-out shriek, much wider than the jaw of a living human could. The servitor's mouth is filled with sharp metallic fangs that glint in the dim light. The vid screen to the right of you lights up, showing strings of mysterious symbols on a green background. A whisper runs through your consciousness, insisting, demanding sacrifice. The voices that filled your head after Voigtveer wounded you with his blade did not go away. On the contrary, their source coiled itself into a tight knot somewhere in the depths of your mind. Okay. Not sure how it is on your end, but the music is too much at the moment. Yeah, I'm not going to put my hand in there. Look for anything that could be used as a weapon. You look around in hopes of finding at least something that could work as a weapon. Your search is in vain. The chamber anteroom is completely empty and in perfect working condition. Nary a broken panel or a protruding piece of rebar in sight. Crap. Let's have a look at the sentinel. The servitor looks noticeably different from the ones you're used to. Copper thread stitches its skin, the joints are replaced by metal hinges. It seems that the creator of the sentinel did everything so that the result of their work would serve much longer than ordinary working automatons. We don't really know how old that is, right? Look back. Did you forget something, Seth? I suggest you hurry. Oh crap. Enjoy the lurk. Oh, do you have that much snow already? Oh boy. Go defeat the snow. Appreciate the lurk. I'll place my hand into the Sentinel's maw. The Sentinel's jaws clamp around your hand, puncturing your skin and sinking into your flesh. A few dark drops fall into the servitor's throat, and immediately you hear humming as the servo motors start up and the pumps steer into motion. The bit screen of the cogitator flickers. Oh, rain next week. Okay. It's not much better. I'm a big fan of dry, cold winter. But anyway, several long minutes pass. The Sentinel's jaws remain closed and you are beginning to feel sick. Perhaps if you were to lean against the gate, you could catch your breath, maybe even close your eyes and pretend none of this ever happened. High levels of caustic humors. The subject is in a state of heightened stress. Do you require assistance? You do not understand where this quiet voice is coming from, crackling like static. Is it the Sentinel? The cogitator? Is it a figment of your weary mind? Whichever it is, you can clearly hear every word. Yeah, who's this? You hear the voice again, and this time you realize that it's coming from the two speakers built into the Sentinel's shoulders. Genetic code identified. Child of House von Valancius. Do you require assistance? You hear a displeased grunt in your mind, as if the lurking entity has sensed something that is not to its liking. Yes, Sentinel. Traitors threaten my life and the safety of the warrant. Pain shoots through your head and subsides just as quickly. It would seem the entity coiled in your consciousness does not have the ability to do you any real harm. Request accepted. Initiating defense protocol. Oh. Very good. Oh. They escaped. Storm is meant to be hitting sometime this week. Oh. It's hopefully not as bad as it was up in Scotland. Oh. Yeah, there were quite some bad storms here in Germany as well. The eastern part of North Germany has been hit very hard. Like 2 weeks ago. This looks pretty cool.
None shall stand in my way.
Oh yeah, it was the eastern part of North Germany usually doesn't get that much wind for a long amount of time from one direction, you know, with a constant high strength. They really don't have a lot of protection against high water, right? They do have it on the west coast, but the east coast normally doesn't get that much. Oh, that bad in Scotland? Oh boy. Oh, yeah, it's unprecedented, I think. But as long as you keep your life, I guess, you know, gotta rebuild. But it's
I won't
harsh.
tolerate weakness.
And in certain places, it's very harsh, the conditions with the weather. Let it be known that by my will and by the true words of this document, I appoint this person to be the bearer of, to be the paragon of humanity. I can't read that fast. That's ridiculous. Through the what? There's a Vox skull. The servo skull's creaking gradually turns into comprehensible words. Escort the child of the house to safety. I need to contact someone, preferably Theodora. Voxcast frequencies disrupted. Initiating setup. Establishing connection. In place of the mechanical screeching, the servo skull's Vox projects the voice of Theodora von Valancius, distorted and ridden with static, yet still recognizable beyond a doubt. Boxmaster, restore communication with the Navigator's Sanctum. I'm trying to contact the bridge. If anyone can hear me on this frequency, regroup all available forces and head to the upper decks at once. Regroup all available forces. Communication protocols breached. Signal latency assessment unavailable. Unable to establish two-way connection. Okay, who or what are you? Temporary obnubilation following acute stress. Mobile unit of the Warrant Sentinel standing by. Do you have a weapon for me? Distance from the current location to the nearest arsenal. Initiating situational calculations. The servo skull goes silent. Its relays clicking. Second after second passes and you realize that the servo skull will not answer you. Okay. Okay, lead me away from here then. Middle and upper decks, assuming the probability of safe placement in areas of concentration of armed units, calculating. The servo skull twitches and makes a few clicks. To prevent unauthorized units from breaching the warrant chamber, preemptive sealing must be initiated. The mobile unit will start executing the received order immediately after the safety of the warrant is secured. That means get the hell out. Didn't they say they would seal it? An old wound. Oh, God. Okay. Undaunted by enemies of humanity, for not one of them can prevail over true servants of the Imperium who are ready to give their lives for his anointed whatnot. That's what it said. Okay, see you later. That's Abelard, the dude with the chainsaw. Seneschal Abelard Wersarian has lost some of his former polish. His forehead is sweating, and one of the sleeves of his coat is torn and soaked through with blood. Nonetheless, despite his heavy breathing, he stands firm and his gaze is demanding, albeit somewhat surprised. Master Seth, whatever are you doing in the warrant chamber? How did you... He surveys the carnage around him, his brow furrows, and he places a hand on his weapon. Throne preserve me, what is the meaning of this? Conrad Voigtveer is a traitor. When we parted ways on the officer's deck, he stunned me somehow and brought me here. Seneschal's eyes widened. What? He intended to take revenge on Theodora for an old grudge and become the rogue traitor himself. Oh, he spoke about defiling the warrant with some ritual and serving the gods of the warp. Sort of. Serving gods of the warp. Conrad is a heretic? Oh, Voidveer, you void rat. Abelard shakes his head. Madness! And this mutiny is likewise his doing, no doubt. He openly admitted that he's a mastermind behind this mutiny, yes. Grux seed. Who's Grux? A large half-domesticated reptile widespread in the Imperium. Alright. Then it is a small wonder that the heretics are so well organized. I thought that his order to seal all passages between decks was his attempt to stop the attackers from spreading to other levels, but now I see the real reason. It was to stop the enforcers from intervening. At least you are alive and now safe, Master Seth. Alas, I doubt we can afford to look for a compartment to sit out this disaster. He examines you critically. You're in a bad way. I can treat your wounds. I have a Medicase kit with me. And for the love of the throne, now is not a good time to be walking around the decks without means of self-defense. Here, he hands you a weapon. Sniper rifle, armored body glove, and a medikit. Yay! Stuff! After falling into a trap or receiving damage that exceeds 50% of your total wounds within one round, the character receives injuries. Total wounds means health points, right? So I've got like 19. It's not that easy to wound me. To injure me, anyway. Injuries reduce a character's stats, and if 3 or more injuries accumulate, the character will get trauma. Wound, injury, trauma. So that's an escalation system. If you completely lose all your health in battle, you get trauma directly. Yeah. Okay. They reduce your stats and grant additional negative effects. If fresh injuries are not treated within 5 rounds, they will become old injuries. And then you need a medkit to restore wounds. Okay. After the combat, wounds are automatically restored. But injuries remain. And old injuries can be removed with a medkit but require an additional Medicaid check. Okay, interesting. It seems like a punishing system. So, we've got 1 old wound. So, 15% armor. And some more dodge chance against ranged weapons. We can either drag and drop it, or double click. And then we see the change in the stats immediately. It does not get highlighted though. If you hover over it, which stat it would change. So you need to read and then check. Right? Dodge reduction, so it's harder to dodge with the sniper rifle equipped. Makes sense. Is this like...
I don't have time for this.
Can't be equipped by this character. Okay. So... Oh, this is a shared inventory. I thought it was... Ah, right. Okay, so they can... This looks rather blurry, doesn't it? I'm a bit confused by that. But anyway. Now...
Your seneschal is always there for you.
And you can use this.
The healing is much appreciated.
Oh, I treated him. That was wrong. What? Yeah, I think I treated the wrong character. Even though they responded in... Okay. The lower decks are teeming with heretics instigating the rebel to revolt, but that is the least of our problems. The ships and forces are rounding up the scoundrels and suppressing the resistance. The situation on the middle deck is much worse, although strike teams have already been dispatched there. All communication with the bridge and the engineering bay was lost, so apart from scattered boxcars, we have no information to go on. Oh, explosions. But that's not the worst of it all. He pauses when the light flickers yet again. All these jolts and shaking are most alarming. There are signs that the navigator and the master helmsman are having difficulty translating the ship out of the warp and into real space. In the worst case, they've already lost control of the process and we all have precious moments to live. Precious few moments to live. In the best case, if we manage to reach the navigator's sanctum and get a handle on the situation, some aboard this vessel may yet survive. Okay. You will lead the way to the navigator's sanctum. Absolutely. Let's go. A wave of static suddenly erupts from the servo skull, and you can make out Theodora's words through the noise. To arms, loyal sons and daughters of the God Emperor! Fight the heresy and corruption that threatens to consume our home. And with all your might, destroy those who have dared to... and so on and so forth. The Seneschal's eyes light up and he smiles with grim determination. The Lord Captain is calling her crew to battle, which means the Vox networks are set up for broadcast transmission, not message exchange. Splendid. While the rogue trader inspires proper resolve to fight in her subjects, you and I shall prove that her trust in us is well deserved. Onward! To battle, which just arrived. So, imagine we would have tried to see all there is to see about this game in an hour. It would be completely impossible. Combat begins with a 0 round. During this round, the characters cannot attack or take any other actions, but they can take advantageous positions. Alright. Hmm. So you can move around, but not into direct melee range. Hmm. There's no cover here, so I would try to go to the left. Oh no, Abelard can go to the front. And I'll go to the other side, so we draw them out. I could even go back here because I've got a sniper rifle. Melee weapons make it impossible for enemies with ranged weapons to attack at close range, unless the enemy is using pistols or shotguns. Melee weapon attacks always hit but can be dodged, but they don't miss in the first place, unless... Okay. If the attack character is also using a melee weapon, then they will attempt to parry at the same time with the dodge check. Okay. Some of this is worded oddly. The higher the difference between the attacker's and target's weapon skill characteristics, the less chance the target has to parry the attack. Yes, it's a comparison. Okay. You can also make an area attack with the melee weapon. It will hit all creatures that are in its area of effect. Characters in the area of effect will try to avoid and automatically make a dodge and parry check. Yeah, okay. The damage of an area attack made by a melee weapon depends on the parameters of the weapon and the character's strength. Okay. So, there's an area attack. Yeah, I see. Cross shape. Just, yeah, okay, in melee range, obviously. So, I'm gonna move here.
A tactically sound approach.
It's not a circular, okay. Attack of opportunity if the opponent in the adjacent cell initiates movement. Oh, okay. I was wondering about that. So if they should get
My place is at the
opportunity
fore.
attacks. Oh yeah, anyway.
Indeed. I took care of this one.
There it is. Brace for impact. The officer and their allies in a 3-cell radius gain deflect. Once per combat. Move in a straight line. And attack. Does that look like an attack team?
At your beck and call.
There was no hit chance. That means it was guaranteed. Okay. Interesting. And now it says -3 again on the movement, which is weird. But anyway, that's his turn done. And now it's that dude and that dude. Okay. They both go for him. And a dodge. Now it's my turn. Each attack or ability requires a certain amount of action points. The higher the doctrine level, the more action points you have. The abilities depend on the class. Oh, so during level up, you further build your character class. Okay. That's pretty cool. So let's see, what's the range on this? A dead-eye shot. Let's get the big guy. If we hit them, they're done for.
Nothing of value has been lost!
Very nice. And I'm studying them. And that's it. Right, Abelard. You can attack these two.
Reduced to dust! Someone else can do this.
Oh, that was not a straight line. Okay. That was a critical hit. Fair enough. Yeah, that was a weird move there. I thought I could charge them, but you need more distance, apparently. That's a hit. I know it. Damn. And we level up. Now we control the entire party again. We can loot. Not everything offers significant value. That's a lot like in Pathfinder, where you don't really carry 58 swords because they're all worth gold. It's it seems that they adopted that system. I would still take a gun and a sword as alternative armaments for now. Trophies. Okay. Now the more interesting bit is the level up. So we can increase our doctrine by 1 rank. We get recommendations. We can increase awareness. It would somehow be helpful if I knew what's what. Choose an ability. Okay, here I can increase one of the stats mentioned here by the shown amount. And here I can pick an ability. I see. Yeah, that's a bit hard to read somehow. Oh yeah, user interface of the doctrines needs a bit of getting used to. I really like the writing in the dialogue and in the description part of you know, your surroundings, what's going on. The story so far was, you know, rather predictable, I guess, but it's fun. It's fun. It's a 40k vibe I'm getting, and that's the least, right? I'm not really sure about the performance, but I'm gonna put that on the fact that it's still in beta testing. But I would love the full game to perform a tiny bit better. So yeah, it's not the kind of game that should have performance issues. Could be that it's odd settings on my part, but I don't really think so. A precise attack. For the next attack against the target with the clue, the target's cover efficiency will be decreased. Oh, that's powerful. You can remove clues to get armor. Interesting. Oh, nice. Yeah, exposed weakness is good. Tech plus 10. Yeah, okay. The Adept Doctrine, which we have just upgraded. Okay, and then it's Abelard, where we can upgrade the Fighter Doctrine, or we can multi-class, and he can become a Vanguard as well. No ranks available to this doctrine. Ah, okay. So we can't yet pick a second one. But we can upgrade the fighter. Endure. Sounds good. And then increases Medicaid skill. And then we're done. Okay, so
I'm at your service.
3 set. Target is 2. You're standing right next to him. Yeah, the wound is gone. Which I should have done earlier, but I didn't really click the right button. Okay, that's the void ship map, where this is the first time that we have to navigate between parts. We are going to the navigators.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
Ah, not the cogitator. The Vox Skull is still with us. Dira. Who's Dira? The woman before you whips around and gazes straight at you, her eyes glowing with otherworldly light. And so he will enter the halls of the blinded guide and witness the radiance of the final dawn through the cracks and fall victim to a whim of fate. A hello to you too. Master Seth, watch your head. Yeah. Oh. Adira. Abelard grumbles as he dusts himself off and grips his weapon again. Would it be too much to ask that you phrase your soothsayings plainly for once? That was too close. He will enter the halls of the blinded guide and witness the radiance of the final dawn through the cracks and fall victim to a whim of fate. As in, there's a pipe dropping onto your head. The woman bursts into guttural drunken laughter. Sorry, old man. The voices are so loud I can't even hear myself. They shriek, they sing, they... Oh, Abelard, how they sing. Seth, this is Idira Tlas, personal psyche and diviner of her ladyship Theodora von Valancius. Abelard looks up and down. Idira, I'm not drunk, old man. I'm suffering the effects of the warp that is seeping through these walls. I see the ship's fate to die in the waves of the immaterium fall under the burning rays of the final dawn. And in the roaring blaze, I see a figure standing. Who is it? Who? I have no answer. The entity in your consciousness shrinks and crawls in deeper, its claws scraping against the walls of your mind as if the presence is trying to hide from the seer standing before you. A diviner, are you? Indira nods, yet her gaze is directed somewhere away from you. The voices from beyond the threshold whisper to me. Sometimes their murmurs are clear, the grand insight. And sometimes they drive me mad. But I'm patient. I know how to listen and discern. But now with this clamor around me, too many voices. Too loud. Indira turns her head to you, her vacant eyes flaring like embers. And you are Seth von Valancius, one of Lady Theodora's heirs. Well then, we finally meet. You hear a few clicks from the relays on the servo skull, which has followed you all the way here, and Theodora's scrambled words give way to a voice vaguely familiar to you. Officer's frequency, to all who can hear me. Those with a weapon in their hands are to gather on the officer's deck at once. I repeat, gather on the officer's deck at once and prepare to launch a counterattack. That's Edelthrad, Empress Providence, the other heir, lives as well. Yay. There goes my multiple planets. It's very much like reading a book so far, to be honest, with a few choices here and there. Tiny bit of combat only, but you know, that's to be expected in the beginning. If I remember correctly, Pathfinder starts out like this as well. Right? You set up in a rather generic fantasy story, and then it becomes more complex. And I would guess the same will happen here, because that's a good way to get players unfamiliar with the universe or rule system into the game without overdoing it, right? It's always a bit of a downside for those that are already familiar with it, but I guess it's a good trade-off. We must head to where? Not so fast, old man. If we drown in the warp, no number of Lady Theodora's heirs will be of use to any of us. What? No, to us anymore, right? If Edelthrat, like me, has not yet surrendered either mind or body to the mercy of the warp, then he can still hold out a little without us. Abelard spits out a florid curse. Blast it! Oh, that's not really a florid curse. You're right. First we need to deal with what is happening here. What are you doing here, anyway? The whispers called me, the ones I couldn't make out among all the screams and screeches. Those who are rocking this boat hit us where it hurt. They went after the navigator, our guide through the warp. Other whispers called me to the Enigmarium. No, Engineerium. I'm not sure why my brain forces me to say Enigmarium. It's gonna be an enigma. Other whispers called me to the Engineerium, but it was too late. I heard the cry of our Master Cogitator, right? And the silence that followed. What? You don't mean the chief engineer is... Engineer, sorry. Is, yes, Abelard. Dead, without a doubt. And the voices wail, heralding countless nightmares, cackling at each soul among the hundreds that are now joining the warp. The shriek from the navigator's sanctum was louder than the rest, and it's better that we save the navigator than some lever puller from a cooling module or a cook from the middle decks. Classism. Great. You were not familiar with the rogue trader lore lore beyond the Eisenhorn books. Very fun. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Seems like a good bit of Warhammer 40k shenanigans. Although it's not really something to stream, right? I've been reading for 2 hours now. It's very hard to stream something like this. That being said, I hope I do a decent job of reading all that. It's not super easy. It takes a lot of concentration because it's English and it's also Warhammer 40k. So, but yeah, I hope it's you know, coming across all right. Let's see if the navigator is well. Oh no. Nothing is well about him. Can't you feel the chill crawling on your skin? The eyes watching you. The warp ice has already encased the bulkheads. What follows is calamity. Adira freezes. Then she slaps her cheeks, rubs her face, and looks at you. The supernatural glow is gone from her eyes, and a smirk spreads across her lips. But we're not just going to stand here and take it, are we? The state of things in here suggests there's a navigator around. Maybe one who's crippled, or at death's door, but still kicking. And since our skin hasn't peeled off our faces just yet, his third eye must be closed. At worst, it's a little roughed up. So, what are we moping around for? Let's go protect that noble mutant while we're still alive. I like her. Hey, Fire Ash Pain. Welcome in. I still have to get used to that nickname of yours. Hope you're doing well. It's good to see you. Yeah, always yelling for the Emperor is enough, I guess. Murder time. I love that the Vox Skull is following us all the time with their motivational quotes. Piece of pipe. Mm-hmm. And the navigator shielded themselves. Destroy the field! Don't keep our master waiting. Well,
Follow my lead.
what's with the dead bodies here? They're loot? Oh. Okay, so we've got 3 in the party now. Which begs the question if formation makes sense already. Alright, you can send Avalard in first. Interesting, huh? You can get a pre-made one, and then you can use shift to move them around freely, or on the grid. Like this is on the grid, and this is freely. Nice. Oh yeah, it's out December 7th, right? Have you played the demo? Fire.
Victory awaits.
Victory! Well, it's not my spaceship yet, but it's the void ship called the Unforgiven in my case here. And we are somewhere. I guess the navigator is up here, maybe, in the sanctum up there. That's where I would put the navigator, old school, right up there. But I'm not really sure if they're there. Probably waiting for the launch. Yeah, makes sense. Oh yeah, Theodora. Theodora has what did she say? Multiple planets, millions of people under her command. So she's definitely rich. But we are just the heir, and she's still alive, right? So it's Idira's. It's Idira's turn to move to cover, I guess. I'm gonna move her here. Psyker, sharpshooter, brawler. How many sharpshooters? Abelard is not gonna wait. He's gonna charge that sharpshooter, and I'm gonna take position here to take out that sharpshooter, which I should have a good shot on. Why does it still say ram here? That's from the... What am I upgrading it with? With scrap. I accidentally upgraded the ship's ram. Okay, that's fine. So we're going to switch to combat log. There's the initiative check, which we easily won by 1,000,000. Except for the Psyker. Oh no, the Psyker and the sharpshooter even. Ah. Oh, and the brawler, I didn't see that. As an adept, she's able to study opponents and identify their weakness. That's also what I'm doing, so we can maybe work together to make the best of it. And there's buffs and debuffs. Okay. So, let's have a look. Idira has the strike with the staff, or whatever she's got equipped at the moment. Psychic staff. Lightning arc. And she's also got a las pistol as a backup. She's got some armor. Okay. Oh yeah, you really enjoyed Pathfinder, huh? I played the first one, and I enjoyed it more after they changed how the kingdom management worked. First time around, it was a bit. I'm not going to say tedious, but it wasn't really to my liking, right? But they changed that after some time with a patch, if I remember correctly, and that was good. It was a decent game. I have not played Wrath of the Righteous though. That's the second run that Owl Cat made. Yeah, I have to inherit the ship, of course, and get it out of the warp. Indeed, that's the plan, right? We're gonna kill the heretics, get the ship out of the warp, and then we have finished the introduction to the game, I guess. The tutorial bit. So, Idira, you can study enemies Expose weakness, which I just learned how to do that. Psychic Shriek deals damage plus the Psychic's willpower multiplied by the Psy rating. Now we're getting into what's our Psy rating? Here. Each level of Psy rating gives the Psyker access to new psychic powers. It also empowers the damaging psychic powers. Very true. Okay, so the more warped we are, the more damage we deal with this. It does spend all movement points. Spends the ability to use attack abilities on the turn. Okay. Forewarning. Peering into the future of an ally, the Psyker is able to see the possible outcomes and potential dangers. Increases the dodge and parry. So I could buff Abelard with this. There you go. And then I still got 3 action points left. For a lightning arc, which is unleashing a blast of lightning which chains up to 4 targets within a 3-cell radius. Is the original range is 10 cells, okay. It deals X damage plus the Psy rating. So the weapons damage plus 3 times the Psy rating, okay. Oh yeah, for each targeted. Yeah, let's target them. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that looked very efficient. I should have targeted them maybe, because I had a line of sight on the shooter here. Anyway. There are no clues on any of these. So exploit weakness wouldn't do anything. Now it's Abelard's turn. And I'm just gonna smash them. And then I can try the charge attack again. Yeah, that's not gonna work, but that's gonna work. No? The charge attack is kind of hard to target with, because it's not really 100% clear to me if, you know, if a target space is going to be attacked or not. But that's probably me not reading the user interface correctly. I'm going to brace for impact and end the turn. Use the hologram to gauge the efficiency of your actions in combat. Yeah, okay, you can cancel. So I could go over here and then decide that's crap. I'm not going to do that. So it's left button to see the hologram, to see, you know, where you end up, and so on. So right now I don't have line of sight on them. So I'm going to flank. Here. And then I'm going to shoot them. The shot is going to pierce. Interesting. One creature within a 30-cell radius. Ah, so there's a I can if I shoot him, there's a higher chance that I actually hit the one behind him in the line of the fire. Oh, I hit both. Although it said one creature. That's a bit weird. So I had a chance to hit both, but a higher chance to hit the one in the distance. Okay, pretty cool. Yeah, we understood that. Vespiadas, that's the navigator. You think you're in the minority who likes turn-based over real-time with pause? I'm not yet very sure how I would prefer it. We're gonna have a look at that option in a minute. I'm gonna show that again. Wrath of the Righteous had two slow parts, but the story and core game was sweet. Yeah. I think that ultimately it's probably a matter of what mood you are in, right? When I was playing Kingmaker, maybe I was just not in the mood for a slow-paced game with a lot of, well, where the player needs to have the, you know, patience to read a lot of text and ponder which actions to take for the kingdom and so on and so forth. Switching at will is awesome. Offering both options is really good. Yeah. I think turn-based is what I would want. But real-time with pause is also, it has its advantages, right? So, the creature in the chair appears as if it has become one with its throat. You see pink parchment-like skin stretched between the seat and the limbs that have too many joints for a normal human being. The navigator is breathing heavily, the air whistling as it exits through the two dark gill-like slits on its cheeks. The creature's eyes are shut, the two ordinary eyes as well as the third one that sits in the center of its forehead. A sentient noble mutant whose genes allow them to safely guide the warp-capable void ship through the warp. They have a third eye on their foreheads, which enables them to guide void ships through the warp. Without the navigators, there simply would not be an Imperium of man. For traveling between all but the very closest star systems would be too onerous and dangerous. Onerous? Onerous. Hard to pronounce. I believe Master Vespiadus is still alive. Abelard flinches at the sight of the stretched skin and the dark marks on the face of the creature. The servants are dead, but the chamber, thank the Emperor, is still sealed from the warp. Well, we have a chance of leaving this place alive. What's wrong with him? Wounded, exhausted, fighting back the endless horrors of the warp that are forcing their way into his head? Pick one. The navigator stirs, barely able to lift his head and half open his normal eyes. A dark drop rolls from under the closed lid of the third eye and down his face, leaving behind a black trail. Your time is short. The voice is coming from the Vox grill at the base of the bizarre chair. It is unclear how the navigator is able to produce human speech. You're in need of help. We have to get you out of that chair. Suddenly, the navigator's body starts thrashing in place. It lurches forward and then falls back onto the seat. And then thrusts forward again as its bones crack and its skin tears open. Ugh. However, the fusion between the body and the chair appears to be stronger than these wild impetuses. Impetuses? That's an interesting plural. The mutant remains seated but leans as far forward as he can. His layered raiment. Not Raymond. Right? Slowly turning crimson. The gill slits burst open, forming two hideous, screaming, mouth-like pits. Fall to your knees, mortals, and behold the final dawn. Well... it came from beyond. His body is not his. He's possessed. Adira's scream is echoed by the silent cries in your head. The unseen creature triumphs at the sight of the navigator succumbing to the paroxysms of corruption. Its march thunders under the burden of hopes. Unseal your hearts and I will flood your souls with myriads of words and meanings, each one a portent of salvation within me. The navigator continues to convulse violently in his seat, shrieking and cackling, but then his fit stops abruptly. His face is drenched in black and crimson. A dark ooze from under his third eyelid has turned from a trickle into a stream mixed with the blood coming out of his nose, and there's purplish swelling around the eye. Ah, his head is gonna explode. Right? His head, oh god. Run! Flee from this place while I still have the strength. The words come out of the Vox as a labored rattle. I can contain the intrusion, but not for long. We must begin the translation. Leave the warp. But it can't be done without the Master Helmsman's help. I'm gonna address Abelard. The navigator is still alive, but barely so. What do we do? Because I've got no idea. Right? It's just a bit... it's just but a flesh wound. The Seneschal gazes at the figure in the chair. The ship can only begin the translation with the assistance of the Master Helmsman. That's what he said. Don't repeat what he just said. Odd. If he's still alive, it is worth a try. We must get to the bridge, but we will need support. Our only option is to fight our way to the officer's deck and join forces with Edelthrad and his people. I believe we'll also find Lady Theodora there. She must have heard the call to arms that the Servo Skull relayed to us earlier. Idira reaches her hand out toward the navigator, but pulls it back at the last moment. Vespiadas, good luck. And thank you. The navigator does not give her a response. Black tears mixed with blood are streaming from under their closed eyelids, and the vox at the base of the chair is bellowing out static, interspersed with distant echoes of otherworldly laughter. Ooh, it's quite intense. I like it. The space flute, yeah, certainly seems like it.
None shall stand in my way.
Yes. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna loot all that. It's not the whole area that's looted. You can loot to inventory and cargoes. So cargoes would mean... Oh, I thought here, but... Notable. I wonder what cargoes means in this instant. I thought it was ending up here. Cargoes like trash that you can automatically sell then later? Probably. Oh yeah, you can turn on and off the backpack and the helmet. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so I've got scrappy autogun and an axe. Alright, we're fine with the sniper, I think. So where are we headed? Well, the officer's deck, yeah, right. So I guess that might be through here. Right, let's have a look at the general gameplay settings. Pause when the trap is detected is on. Pause on a loading screen. Okay. In turn-based mode, auto end the turn. Lock the camera to the moving character. Move the camera to the acting character. Right. But you can decide... I'm not really sure where that is, but I saw it earlier. Is that a difficulty setting? You're gonna have to get Game Pass next week for the new Like a Dragon game. They are no longer called Yakuza. Alright, is there another one coming out? I tried, what's it called? Ishin? Like a Dragon? Ishin? Or something? I didn't really know what was going on there. It was very odd. Ishin, yeah. Exclamation mark. That was weird. I'm currently looking for the turn-based versus real-time setting, but I can't really find it. But it's definitely a choice. I just thought I could change it now. Cargo management, that's B. Alright. Cargoes consist of trophies found or purchased. So that's basically scrapping items, right? Yeah, that's scrapping items. And then you have a full cargo, which you can sell to improve your reputation. Yeah, that's cool. That's a good way to manage the loot. Unlock the door. This instant. Do I have to? Okay. Well, it's going to stay locked.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Infinite wealth is coming in January, and like a dragon, Gaiden the man who raised his name. Yeah, that's a long name for a game. I don't really know. Okay, I'm gonna go remove the filters. I guess we have to find a way to open that door, huh? Let's see, we are... I didn't see a mechanism here or anything. Oh, this
I'll
leads
lay
to the
claim
officer's
to
deck.
the stars.
Oh, yeah, okay. It was too obvious. It was the other direction. Yeah, I think my Game Pass subscription runs until the end of December. So I'll have to decide then if I want to continue it. But so far it's been good. I'm playing Atomic Heart at the moment, which is much better than I thought it would be. The longer I play it, it's kind of hard to judge Atomic Heart for after a short time of playing it. It sort of changes a bit over the course, but it's very fun. Really like it. Oh, we arrived before the elevator did. Hey, shut up. I shall pity not your enemies, I shall heed not their pleas.
Show them no mercy. I will take you down.
God Emperor, move through me. Be fire in my heart.
The sounds are not in sync with the visuals here. Argenta. The white-haired warrior turns to face you, her dark eyes blazing. The weapon quivers in her hands, and for a brief moment it seems she's not going to stop and will instead continue eliminating every target she sees, starting with you. Well, yeah, I think she's a battle sister. We'll find out in a minute. You will wait until it's free on Epic. Yeah, that's you know, Atomic Heart is not going to get worse. There was still a big patch not too long ago, so they are working on improving it as far as they can. On the other hand, Game Pass subscription is not that expensive. Yeah, I mean, it's not a super short game. It's around 20 hours, I would say, for the playthrough. People recommend playing Control before Alan Wake 2. I can't really tell. The thing with the Remedy universe, I'm gonna call it that, is that it's weird enough that it doesn't really matter, I guess, when you jump in. You can then go back to play the previous titles as sort of a prequel. But I guess Control gives a lot of context to Alan Wake. And Alan Wake sort of expands some tiny bits of what you learn in Control. So it really depends on how much they show in Alan Wake 2. I mean, you know, I think I agree with what Project says. It could be interesting to see the previous things later on as a prequel to give you sort of background on the Alan Wake 2 experience. But I guess there's probably a reason they recommend it, which is usually you don't really understand all of Alan Wake 2 unless you've played Control. But I'm fairly certain that Remedy does not expect everybody who plays Alan Wake 2 to also play Control, because Alan Wake and Control are such different games. They are really super different from one another, so. Right? Yeah. It's easy to get into the spoiler area there. So it's better to be careful. But yeah, anyway, I mean, just you gotta go with your gut feeling on that, I think. Yeah. All right, so Sister Argenta. The Seneschal's voice carries the weight of a command, and it seems to bring the warrior out of her battle trance. Sister Argenta, it is a relief to see you in good health and well armed. We require all the forces we can muster. The young woman called Argenta lowers her weapon and scans your small party with an intense gaze. Then she sets her sights on you. Your face, it's unfamiliar. Who are you? Seth von Vlankioth, the Lord Captain's heir. Argenta gives you another stern appraisal. You catch something strange in the dark depths of her eyes, some internal struggle or a wordless question. In the end, however, she nods. The hour is dark and daunting. The ship abounds with corruption. The faces of friends are twisted by sneers of heresy. The eyes of comrades are igniting with the arch enemy's hunger. I will stand shoulder to shoulder with anyone willing to halt the advance of the dark forces. That is why I have come, isn't it? Oh well, we don't have an option now, after that speech. Sister, I beg of you. Abelard appears to be losing his patience. Now is not the time for interrogations. The ship is under attack by heretics. We've been betrayed by our esteemed Master of Whispers. Adelthrad the heir is waiting for our aid, and Lord Captain Theodora is expecting a report on our success. Of course we are here to deal with the situation. Stop playing silly buggers. I suggest we all do just that. There's no time for talk. Very well. Let's leave it at that. She raises her chin proudly. Yes. I cannot wait to rain fire upon more heretics, each and every one of them. Right, we must get to the main hall. Through this door. To her right. I'll go with you. I can't wait to destroy those who encroached on the God Emperor's domain. Yeah, you can go first. That's alright. The Overseer says... here. Highlighted. We'll follow. For now, we'll hold off any heretics who might try to crawl in through the cracks to join the main assault, and we'll take a look at the generators while we're at it. Those villains made a mess of the cables. Oh, I wish I had a technomat with us, but we'll see what we can do without one. Good to hear it, sister. Ready. May Terra's light illuminate our path through fire and darkness. Sure thing. Oh, we can highlight objects. That's Right. This door is closed, but the lock looks intact. It can probably be opened with the right tool. Goods. A well-maintained sniper rifle. Ooh. Inventory. To open it, you can use special abilities, like tech, or a melted charge. Yes. Okay, that equipped it in the other slot. But I wanted to replace it. Info. Alright, that's just the mouse over. Okay. Now we're a party of 4. Tech use. I increased that on my last level up. Succeeded. 21 XP gained. Each skill check has a difficulty between 1 and 100. You must roll a value less than the sum of the stated difficulty. So if the difficulty is -10, which is not between 1 and 100, like I said, the wording on these explanations is a bit weird. I mean, it's a D100 check, so anyway, but it's worded weirdly.
Follow my lead.
More enemies to face judgment. We are
Okay.
truly blessed this day.
Crush them!
This is the last battle for today. Yeah, right. It's just weird. I mean, of course, that is a super easy skill check because it's -10, so you have an easy time to roll to win the skill check. Yeah, but didn't they say that the skill check is that the difficulty is always between 1 and 100? -10 is not between 1 and 100. I think that's what it said. Difficulty, right? It's a D100 check, and the -10 is obviously very easy. What? It's harder to... Oh, then I misread. Okay, then I misread. Like I said, why can't I look out skill checks here? I kind of expected this to have the, you know, the things we just... Anyway. We know there's a system behind it, and it probably makes sense. Well, they had the 40 minus 10 is equals 30. They put in the calculation. I think it was not a good example anyway. But I can't find the wording now. Bad. So yeah, the difficulty choice you have in the game from normal to core. I guess it makes sense to play core only when you really know the rules of the, you know, Hey, the rouge poison. Welcome in. The dice explodes. Oh, that would be bad. So you can adjust the difficulty. You can't change the setting if FSR mode is off. What? You can't. That doesn't make any sense. You can change the skill check modifier. Here. Hey Magnum, welcome in. How's it going? Exactly. You roll a d100 against your current skill level, right? Plus or minus the difficulty. Yeah, you like to change your nicknames a lot. How's it going? Good to see you. It is good to see you. So the Battle Sister goes in front, as does Abelard. Psycho and me, we're gonna hang back a bit. Oh, I want to line up a nice shot already, so I'm gonna try to shoot through these dudes here. Dira, you have to get to the front a bit more. Start the battle. Full cover. Partial cover. What? Is this supposed to show me the cover? Because it's not doing it. The game is not. I guess that's a bug. Earlier I couldn't see any cover that I was getting into or out of. Right? That was a bit. It's not. I'm not lining up a shot for both of them. That's a pity. Guess I could try to get these two. Yeah, it's a bit of a crooked line there. But yeah, I guess ultimately the shot arrives in this spot, which is a straight line. But when you look at the squares, it looks a bit zigzaggy. Yeah. So we've got cutthroat. Are they all cutthroats? They're all cutthroats, but they all have different weapons equipped. So I'm gonna get a regular shot in here.
Opposing me was your biggest mistake.
That one's done for. And then I'm gonna collect some clues on these dudes. Studying enemies. Next up is Abelard. And we can now take a clue of this
Suits
guy.
my purposes.
Exploit their weakness. Expose, I mean. And then we should see that they have less dodge chance, right? That's increased dodge, parry, and armor by -10 plus 2 times the adept's perception bonus in percent for 1 round. So, ultimately, Abelard should have an easier time slashing them in the face with their axe. So I'm gonna charge them. No, I'm gonna move over here and attack.
Victory is imminent.
Very good. And then I can still do the charge. This is crossed out. Has that got a minimum range? Yeah, it must be at least 2 cells. This is a no-go. This looks like it might work. This is what I meant earlier. It's not really easy to see if That doesn't work. That might work, but it might also not work because there's a chair in the way. It says in the description it's going to be straight line. First creature within line within 6 cells. Yeah, and then he's not attacking. It doesn't, you know, this attack does not count toward the limit, but I still don't get why they didn't. I'm gonna brace for impact. End the turn. See what they do. Stab. Ah, totally parried that. There's burst fire for some weapons. There's friendly fire. Okay, so we need to be careful. The Sister Sororitas can gain momentum. He's a priest. Marksman Doctrine. I would have guessed she's a battle sister, but anyway, we've got the thrones back here. A dash does not provoke attacks of opportunity. Can dash through enemies and allies, but not through obstacles. A shot on the run. Okay, that's pretty cool. Yes.
God Emperor, move through me! Be the fire in my heart!
Burst fire in a line. Oh, how did you miss that one?
I'll do it.
Yeah, we missed. We see that. We saw it. And now I could dash away. That's not going to help me a lot.
As the Emperor commands, I act.
Momentum generation. Now we are nearly at the heroic act level for her. Cool. I've yet to see what that does exactly. Now the cover is indicated. Oh. Why wasn't it indicated earlier? That was probably a glitch, huh? I want them dead. Worked. Yeah, she probably could. But she missed her shot. I currently think the Psycho could kill them all. All momentum is shared. Momentum is shared. Yeah. Okay. And I'm gonna buff Abelard because they got back up. End the turn. That was an attack of opportunity on my part. That's a dodge. Very good. Stop shooting. Right. Main character's turn. Ah, see, there's a chance I hit my own peeps. I've got line of sight on 2 from this spot. I could take care of them.
Already done.
Abelard doesn't risk an opportunity attack by them. And then I can study these 2. Alright, end the turn. Okay. We have yet to figure out what a straight line means in this game.
Tried and tested tactics are the best ones.
And then this is not gonna do anything again, is it? It wants to go that way. That's a straight line. This is not a straight line. It's so weird. It's gonna spend all movement. I'm not gonna get. Oh yeah, I should totally get the endure buff. Move over here.
I've seen worse battles than this in my time.
And then smash
At
it.
your beck and call. I took care of this one.
Okay. Fine. Yeah, this is down to this being the very beginning of the game on the normal difficulty. I think the combat is going to become more challenging very soon. Yeah, I don't have a straight line of it on any of them. But it might just be advantageous to stand next to them. Right? So they can't really shoot. And I'm gonna shoot them.
Doubt is for the weak.
Yeah, I'm not impressed by her abilities. Wouldn't she be able to shoot them now? Let's try the burst fire. Oh.
As the Emperor commands, none can escape the
Nice.
Emperor's judgment.
Burst fire is fun. That's our turn. And it's the Psyker. Is that the heroic? Heroic push. Ignores friendlies. Okay.
What
Gotta
is
move
this
up here.
foreboding?
It's gonna chain how far? Well, 10 cells for the first target.
None will stand against me.
And then it doesn't chain over there. Okay, that was kind of hard to find out. One enemy chains up to 6, but the range at which it continues to chain is not really... I couldn't really see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe it was visible, but I couldn't really... Like these overlapping red areas. Oh, it's explained here. In the regular lightning arc, it's explained. It's a 3-cell radius where it continues to chain. It's just not explained here. But since this is a heroic version of this, you have to assume that it's also limited to 3 cells. Okay, fair enough. Exploit weakness?
Not this Greyer's job.
Oh, out of range, right? I'm gonna end a turn. Yeah, opportunity attack and we win. So it was good to charge to that corner. Yes, yes. And we can loot. Ooh. Let's put all that into the cargo. where could we see? In B, right? Yeah. We're building a second melee weaponry already. Okay, cool. Alright. So yeah, the combat balance is something that we can't really judge right now because it was like Emre said, they all die with one hit. But they are mutineers with improvised weapons, and we're all battle-hardened super warriors, right? So at some point, I guess that's going to change. The balance, the scales will tip out of our favor, so to speak. I'm going to save. And then I'm going to go and have one look at the options again. These are lots of tutorials, which is fair because the game has a lot of complex mechanics in the battle, and later on there's space exploration, space encounters, ground encounters, and so on and so on and so on. So we haven't even seen that. Maybe if we click on this door.
What in the world?
Now we need explosives, okay. Yeah, okay. Now we're forced to use a melter charge. Right. So there's way more to this game than what we just saw in now 3 hours.
Victory
Playing it.
awaits.
Obviously, if you play this on your own time, you don't read the text aloud, which usually means that it goes much faster. So you will be going through it faster on your own time. But hopefully, I could show enough to make you interested in the game,
It's
or to
about
give you an idea of what it's going to do.
This cannot be.
There's the charges. Yeah, basic training, basic weapons, exactly. I'm gonna loot this to inventory. Like when you play Warhammer 40k Inquisitor Martyr, right? And then you find these 4 guardsmen somewhere inside. They're really not doing a lot.
I better myself through my service.
Yay. Now we're through. There's all the loot on the ground still that I didn't pick up.
None shall stand in my way. We need to investigate.
There's an awareness check which revealed this. Okay, so I think it's a rather promising game that has a few hiccups that I can't really put my finger on. One is the graphics. I mean, it's a beta test, right? It could be that some of it is still in the works, or but yeah, I mean, it should look less blurry, especially with FSR off, and it should perform better. I don't know. It could be that any of these settings is just going crazy. First one is probably shadows, but yeah, I think there's room for improvement there. And the second thing is that some of the explanation text is kind of hard to get my head through, but I think it's a tad easier if you read it on your own time, rather than streaming the game and trying to read out aloud in a good way while trying to grasp the concepts being explained, which I'm not familiar with, right? I think it's based on the Pathfinder system, or it is the Pathfinder system. I'm not really sure about that, but it seems similar. So, oh yeah, and the third thing, what was the third? There was another thing I wanted to mention. I forget. So the odd blurry graphics, the kind of challenging wording on the explanations. There's something else. I can't remember. I'm gonna sleep on that and write some feedback. Oh yeah, adding DLSS would obviously be great. UI and text scaling separately would be awesome. That would be awesome. I mean, we could. Oh, I know. I remember. The automatic continuation of some text in the game. It's some tooltips, it's some tutorials, and it's some actual story stuff that just goes through very quickly. And assuming that not everybody is a first, you know, not everybody has English as their first language, not everybody's a native speaker, you kind of have to let people have the time to actually read things. Now, this is one thing, how quick it shows, but how long it stays on the screen for. It's something I would put here in accessibility, like an extra. Or give the options that you have to click to forward text. It's not a huge issue, but if you can't find that text that just went by in the log, and the game does log a lot, but it doesn't log everything. If you can't find it there, then it's kind of gone. Obviously, if you stream the game, it's kind of escalating, right? Because I look at the chat and I chat to you guys about what's going on, and that makes it harder to follow on-screen display, obviously. Oh. But yeah, apart from that, it's been really good fun. It is a full-on Warhammer experience. I'm not sure what price are they going for. Do we know that? No price mentioned yet. Okay. Because if I go by how the beta looks, I wouldn't want to pay €40 for it. It's just too rough around some edges. But yeah, I'm gonna assume that it's because of the beta testing and maybe some settings that are not really fully included here, or maybe I've set this up in a weird way. But since this is off, it shouldn't look so blurry on part. It's just, yeah, it's a bit weird. I can't really tell. But yeah, I would recommend this if you are into Warhammer and if you really like classic role-playing games. It's a no-brainer then. Everybody else probably doesn't want to read that much text or get into a role-playing system like we have here. But it's easy enough to start. It wasn't challenging at all in the first bit. The question is how you know, how they escalate that. There was a setting for text speed, but that also could have been another game. Yeah, maybe. Oh, did they show this on Next Fest? That's awesome. Yeah, you're most welcome. I'm glad that I could get the beta to test it and show it around a bit. And there's a. Oh wait, no, that's not what I wanted to show. I wanted to show this. That's an affiliate link that goes to Steam, and it's being tracked to cover how much impressions I did generate, which is not being paid or anything. It's just a metric. And it's also for the publisher / developer. In this case, it's, you know, they are the same. It's all cat. For them to see how many people clicked on that link. So if you want to check it out or put it on your wish list, you can use that link. Just to support them, really. You don't need to buy the game. I'm not here to incentivize that, but I hope I could give a fair shake to it for the first bit, right? Yeah, it could be all sorts of things. A driver issue, probably not. But it could be any of these settings. You know. And we will judge the game by its release date, not by its beta test. That ultimately will be the case. But yeah, it was my absolute pleasure. I intended to stream another game, but I'm going to stop it here. It's been over 3 hours now, and my voice is going to go, and I've got 4 days of work ahead. No, 3 days actually. and I need to be able to speak. So thank you so much for stopping by and checking out Rogue Trader with me. Potentially there will be a Discovery stream on Saturday, where we can check out one of the other games on the list. Because as you might be able to spot, there's been a bit of a change on how the Discovery list looks, and it's not necessarily that order, but I want to have a look at Aliens Dark Descent, Divine Frequency, and Assassin's Creed Rogue, and Hot Wheels Unleashed, and so on and so forth. So maybe 1 or 2 or 3 of them on Saturday, if I can make it happen. It wasn't that scary, right? If I can make it happen on Saturday, hopefully. I'll keep you updated on Discord, and I put the stream into the Twitch announcement system. I'm not sure if that actually works, but anyway. Hot Wheels is fun. Yeah, it is fun. Right? So you have a good week. Enjoy Halloween, or, you know, whatever part of it you do. Enjoy your Tuesday, and I'll catch you very soon. Bye-bye.